My name is Jeremy Elliott and I am 16 years old from Ontario, Canada. Throughout the beginning of my track and field career, I have learned very quickly that just like other sports, doping is not allowed. I have won 3 OFSAA medals and 3 Canadian national medals, so I'm no longer considered new to the sport. Now, I'm assuming some of you do not know what doping is, as neither did I up until a few years ago. The Merriam-Webster definition is to administer drugs in order to inhibit or enhance sporting performance. But to simplify that, it basically means to use drugs to enhance your performance or to get an advantage over your opponents. Now, how drug testing is done. It is done by a urine sample, and the urine is split up into 2 samples, sample A and sample B. The first sample is tested, and if results in a positive, then the second sample must also be tested. If sample A is positive, but sample B is negative, then it does not result in a true positive, and the athlete does not receive a ban. But if sample A initially tests negative, then sample B is stored for further use when technology advances and allows the IAAF to retest the samples. According to Will Carroll, the modern era of doping began with the development of injectable testosterone in 1935. Testosterone is a hormone produced naturally by the body. Injecting additional testosterone into the system increases muscle mass and strength. Originally introduced by Nazi doctors to make soldiers more aggressive, it did not take long for laboratory-produced testosterone to make its way from the battlefield to the athletic field. German athletes dominated the medals in 1936, assumed with the assistance of these newly developed synthetic drugs. Drug testing was introduced at the Olympics in 1968. By this time, International Committee had developed a list of officially banned substances. However, because no test had yet been invented that could distinguish between anabolic steroids and naturally occurring testosterone in the body, the testing was largely ineffective. Only one athlete was found to be in violation of the new drug policy in 1968. A Swedish pentathlete was found to have too much alcohol in his blood before the shooting portion of his event. On August 22, 2006, U.S. Olympic sprinter Justin Galan accepted an 8-year ban from track and field, avoiding a lifetime ban in exchange for his cooperation with the doping authorities because of the exceptional circumstances surrounding his first positive drug test. Galan appealed the ban. An arbitration panel reduced it to 4 years at a hearing in December 2007. Because of this, the recent success on the track in 2016 alone, Justin Galan was drug tested a total of 16 times. On May 20th, 1990, U.S. Olympic shot putter Randy Barnes broke Ulf Timmermann's outdoor world record with a throw of 23.12. And just 6 days later, he almost matched his world record throwing 23.10 at the Bruce Jenner Invitational in San Jose. On August 7th that same year, Barnes was banned from competing for 27 months after testing positive for an anabolic steroid at a competition in Malmö, Sweden. Randy's world record is very controversial because of this, but IAAF approved of this because he was tested prior to the magical week when he threw over 23 meters, not once but twice. At the 1996 Olympic Games, Barnes won the gold medal that avoided him 8 years prior, and on his final attempt he threw 21.62. In 1998 he tested positive for an over-the-counter supplement that is banned in track and field. Although Barnes claimed he didn't know it was banned, he was suspended from the sport for life. Using performance-enhancing drugs comes with a big risk of your reputation. Just ask American sprinter Justin Galan, as no longer were athletes cheering for his competitors, but rather cheering against him. Or people praying someone finally breaks Randy Barnes' world record because it is almost embarrassing to the sport. People who use drugs in the sport are not only cheating the competition, but they are also cheating themselves. Personally, if I win a major competition by a large margin, I of course am extremely happy, but if I have to work hard day in and day out to keep pace with a close competitor, that victory is so much more meaningful. For example, last year at the Canadian National Track and Field Championships, I had the goal of throwing 50 meters in discus. I may have placed fourth in the event, and missed the podium, which was disappointing, but I achieved my goal not once, not twice, but 3 times. Now, I've never used performance-enhancing drugs, and I promise I never will, to keep the integrity of the sport, but I would guess that an athlete who is clean versus an athlete who is doping would have very different levels of happiness after a great success. I will leave you with the quote. Man needs his difficulties because they are necessary to enjoy success. Thank you.